It looks like little flames
Yeah.
on the side of her neck. Breathing, breathing, heaving breaths.
You know what I love right before bed is a giant glass of milk.
It's
Delicious.
uh,
Yum, yum, yummy.
Terry's a hussy and has
Yeah.
frequently gotten men in by changing the cameras and the guard not seeing them.
You know what? I like Terry.
Terry has ingenuity.
I appreciate her.
We don't love her necklace, but
No.
we appreciate her strength of conviction.
Tonight on Murder, She Wrote.
That's right.
Hooray!
Yeah, tonight.
Hi, this is Victor Devon,
This is Petrified,
and this
and this
is
is Tonight
Tonight
on
on
Murder, She
Murder, She
Wrote.
Wrote. That's right. This is the
Good and most
penultimate
foul.
episode of penultimate episode of season one.
Sure is.
That's
And it's a
that's
bloody good one too, I think.
it's a quite good one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like this one a lot. This is actually a little bit more fun than next week's, which is
definitely
still
is.
good, but it's a
Yeah.
downer. There's some good fun stuff in it, but it's still ultimately a downer. This one isn't really.
No, this is fun. This has a superb cast.
And we're at the another situation where the victim everyone hates. So those I think are often more fun because then you're not like, oh, that poor person. This
Yeah,
is
it's
more
not
like,
such a downer.
yeah, no, who are we rooting for? Who do we who do
Yeah.
we agree with who got to it first?
The dead guy. No,
It's that guy.
not here.
But this
No, we're
is
glad he's
this
gone.
is a big one. We have uh Joey Bishop of the Rat Pack in this,
Mm-hmm.
Piper Laurie of Twin
Hyper
Peaks and
Laurie.
Carrie fame.
Ken Howard, who, well, from one time or another was president of the Screen Actors Guild, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
he'll always be Thomas Jefferson to me.
Thomas Jefferson,
He
he'll always
was,
be Blanche's prude boyfriend
well,
to
that
me.
too,
Yeah.
but he was. I grew up with 1776
Of
as a movie
course.
that we watched a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, this episode is coming out just a couple of weeks before we would have watched it uh, annually.
A
I mean, I guess it's propaganda in the
little
strictest
bit.
sense of the word.
The
Um,
good old-fashioned palatable kind, right? You know.
it's fun.
You know, as I get older, the more I realize how much around me is propaganda.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
everything.
yeah. So
Oh,
we are here in the desert.
we are in a
I feel
desert.
like
Yep.
it's desert palms. I think
Desert
it's meant to be.
palms,
Yeah, it's
wherever that
California, I
is.
believe.
Is that California? Okay.
It's gotta be. I
Sounds
mean, this
very
is one
like
of those
Arizona
times where,
border.
right. Well, let's see. Let's see if it's a real place. Let's see. Desert palms. Well,
Or is this a totally
I don't know
fictional
actually.
place?
It's a no, it's a no, no, here we go. Desert palms. It's in California.
Okay.
Eastern. Oh, it's actually near me. It's in the
Ah,
Coachella Valley. So,
okay.
yeah.
So Desert Palm. We're
Not
at
to be confused with Palm Desert, which is next to Palm Springs. It's too
truly.
much.
Y'all, I
Yeah.
mean, I live up in the San Jose area and everything is sand, sand, sand. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Who's this priest name? Who's this nun? Um,
But we have a musician, right? That's
yeah,
basically what he
he is a
is.
musician. Yeah, he is Mikey Shannon.
Played by
A
Joseph Bottoms.
big shot musician, has a gorgeous sort of compound, complex house,
Yeah. And
and his little
he's
den
a
that's
dick to
full
his
of his,
son.
yeah, he's a dick to everybody.
He is. He is.
Yeah.
And he's, why he is? Because he walks around with his jacket on his shoulders, but is not his arms through the sleeves. I don't trust anyone who does that who's not James Brown. Like
No,
don't do that.
no, this is
That's
very
weird.
like T-Rex behavior,
It's
not to
so
be trusted.
strange. Like
The whole time, the whole
it's a
time.
jacket, not a
Yeah,
cape. What are we
yeah.
doing? But he has a
Um,
son, whose name is.
I think he is a junior
Johnny.
here.
He's Johnny.
Johnny. Yes.
Oh
I'm
wait,
looking at
no,
I'm
Johnny is
no,
the
no, no.
father. Mickey is the
Mickey is so IMDb is lying to me about these character names. Oh, I see. Okay.
no,
So
no. Johnny is the
Johnny's the
father.
father and Mikey's the son who he just laid into, by the way, for not
Yes.
there he's a composer as well, and he's
Yeah,
writing a
he's
little
like
ditty for them.
I guess it's sort of like nepotism, but his father's kind of again kind of rude about it.
Yeah.
Um, so this is okay. So see, folks, we're on a great
Hmm.
start here. Ed Ames plays Johnny, and I should have remembered it was Johnny because Piper Laurie in a few minutes is going to go, "Hello, Johnny," and it's so Gilda. It's Rita Hayworth in Gilda. Hello, Johnny, and I love it.
I'm here for it.
Uh,
Make it a ringtone.
Hello,
Yes,
Johnny.
so yes, Ed Ames as Johnny, Joseph Bottoms as his son Mikey.
That's his
Now he's in the
son. Yeah,
car with Joey Bishop, who we mentioned earlier, playing a character called Buster Bailey, because we love alliteration.
yeah.
And
He's
they're in the
his
car.
assistant, but
Yeah,
like long term, like almost to the
kind of
point
like
where it's like his
wingman.
hetero life mate.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they're definitely kissing.
And we find out that there is some vague mob tie, like he has some scandalous relationship, and it's never good when we get to the mob.
Never good. The
No,
mobster's name, who is mentioned here, is Milo Valentine, because
yeah, because this is basically
yeah,
the
yeah.
40s. Yeah, yeah.
So that's
Oh,
sort of the
we have
angle
some
we're
great
leading
names
into
in
here.
this.
Well,
There's
it's so
like
funny.
we have a
There's,
Vic LaRosa coming soon. I'm like, all right.
oh yeah, that's good. Um, yeah, so we're kind of getting into the sort of mob storyline here, which doesn't necessarily pan out in the way you think it does. This is not a mobster episode in
No,
any way.
it's not a red herring because it is important, but it's
Yeah,
not but it's indirect, I would
yeah.
say.
We
Yeah.
are not watching Goodfellas or The Sopranos here. This is Murder, She
No, in fact,
Wrote. It's very,
we don't
very much
see
its own.
any gangsters per se, and
Yeah,
we will one
yeah.
eventually. There's a couple of really good episodes actually where we
Hmm.
get to some clearly organized crime storylines.
Oh yeah.
But I think our relationship is that Piper Laurie plays Peggy, and she and Jessica were in school together.
Friends, roommates,
Lovers, who can say?
who can say? Who can say? Maybe one was the dentist or for the I don't know. There's nothing in IMDb. I'm trying to come up with anything. But they're sitting here at this nice table and boy, they're costumed beautifully together, aren't they?
Yeah, this gorgeous lilac
Hmm.
and eggplant shawl that Piper Laurie has. She looks
Hmm.
very resort, very
Oh yeah.
comfortable. And
Jessica's wearing a lovely floral in the same color tone. Yeah, it's lovely.
it's a very lovely feminine, like soft for Piper Laurie, who for I don't know how many people know her work. They may know her from Return to Oz, where she plays
Hmm.
Annie M, and she's very like frumpy. Carrie, where she's utterly bonkers.
Totally.
The Faculty, where she's rather frumpy as well.
Hmm.
And Twin Peaks, I mean, I guess she's pretty sexy as Catherine Martell, which is I think fun because she's older and also fuller figured, and I like that David Lynch did that.
Sure.
But this is such a soft.
It
Oh,
is.
wait, we got the here
She's
we go.
very
Wait, here we
delicate
go.
and feminine.
Still the diplomat.
Hi, babe.
Hello, Johnny.
Yes. Hello, Johnny.
Ooh,
It's so
okay.
oh, she's got it
I
bad.
love,
They're exes and she still has it bad.
yeah. I love that you pointed out that she was in the faculty because that is one of my most favorite campy horror movies. Love
It's a
it.
good one. It's a good
So
one.
much fun,
It's so
so
mean to BB
chaotic.
Newirth.
Yeah.
It's
I
so mean
know.
to her.
Boy, they really lay into her.
It really did. But
Yikes.
she takes it like a pro. She
Yeah.
takes it like a pro.
And I think Famke Jensen is in that too. Ooh,
Oh yes,
back in the
with a head
heyday.
with tentacles.
Hmm. Anyway, Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the show we're watching. So we learned really quickly that Peggy and Johnny are
Divorced.
ex-partners. Yes, they have two children, one
Hmm.
of whom was the pianist that Johnny was being a dick to.
Hmm.
And this pretty lady right here, Terry, as played by Linda Purl, who comes in, and she's trouble. She's just
Terry
straight
is
up
trouble.
trouble.
And this actor, Linda Pearl, she's in more Murder She Wrote, and she is just delicious in every single episode she's in. She's so good. She's one of my favorite guest stars in the whole series. I don't know if there's anybody who has quite the power to manipulate the screen the way she does. She's great.
Oh, I like it. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head which ones they are.
It's the one where she's visiting, Jessica's visiting her friend who's a writer in the South at his sort of
Mm.
very
Oh yeah, yeah.
plantation-esque estate, and his son and his wife that he
And
she
she ends up
plays the
like
son's
getting
wife. Yeah.
engaged to him, right? That's the shtick
Yeah,
with
that's
that
like
one.
that's
Yeah.
the fake out at the end. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
nice.
back to Johnny. Johnny and Peggy.
I mean, it's real
So
quick. I mean,
yeah.
he's he's a tyrant, and the only one who seems to really like him is his ex-wife.
Hmm.
Um, it's somehow involved. I don't really understand this relationship he has with the tennis uh club.
It's a little peculiar. Yeah, I don't know. I think Peggy came to visit because he's playing in a tennis tournament or something. It's so unimportant, the detail. It literally could be thrown away. But they're showing us here that he is generally unpleasant and
Yeah.
gets opinions about people pretty quickly. And his daughter Terry is trying to schmooze or date a hotshot tennis guy, hothead
But just
tennis
to
guy,
get to her father, you can
just to
tell
get
it's
to
just
him.
baiting. It's
Yeah,
just baiting.
yeah.
And we get a real quick, all the characters are coming out real within
Why
11 minutes.
why is the Detective Sergeant Barnes here right now? Do we know? Why is he there?
He's, we don't know.
Because nobody's dead yet.
Nobody's dead yet. Well, he's allowed to have a personal life. Maybe
I
he's just
guess.
there to enjoy. I mean, do they, let me see.
Maybe
Do
he's
they even
practicing his
ask?
backswing.
So, tennis guy, Vic LaRose's, aggravates Johnny, rather. So they
Hmm.
have an argument, and he basically he's about to throw a punch,
Yeah.
and Detective Sergeant Barnes, as played by Thomas Jefferson, stops it. But I
Oh, a
and
score
she's
in
just
7 years. I got no.
Terry is just living for this altercation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he just shows up, just comes in there with his gigantic feet. Just noticing his shoes.
He's a
Goodness.
big man. He's in the 6.5 feet category. He's tall.
Which, of course, means he has a big floppy pancreas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we have not also mentioned that there's yet another character, the bodyguard slash chauffeur, who is the big grunt, basically,
Hmm.
who,
He's played by Jack O'Halloran, who was in Superman.
oh
Was it
yeah, he
Superman
was.
1?
He was one of
Superman, yeah. One of the
the
three
Kryptons.
aliens. Krypton, is
Yeah.
that what they're called? I guess I haven't
Kryptonians.
seen that in years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's with yeah. It was Zod, I think. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's sort of the he's the brawn. He's the sort of non-speaking henchman of Johnny.
Well, I mean, as security would be, because clearly, if this guy Johnny, this is not his first foray into
Mm-mm.
nefarious or potentially ill-mannered uh, finances.
That's right.
So he's probably been, I mean, just as much as Buster has been on the payroll for years. Lou, that's
Yeah.
his name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are
yeah.
now,
So I will say, so our constable or our detective,
yeah,
uh, we don't know. He's just there.
he just happens to be around.
But that
Convenient.
we should remember that he just suddenly showed up for some reason.
Yeah. He's new in town. We should point that out. He's from Chicago.
Isn't he?
Bitch,
Aren't
I
they
am from
always?
Chicago.
No, but is he from the east side or the west side? Jessica would know. She would be able to tell from his accent.
Uncanny.
We're back at the compound.
Yeah, it's nighttime now, and Buster's trying to deliver a glass of milk to Johnny, and his den is locked up. Um, who- you know what I love right before bed is a giant glass of milk.
It's
Delicious.
uh
Yum, yum, yummy. And I
no,
hope
that
it's
was
a
like the
little warm
thing.
too.
I
Yeah.
don't know, like that was a thing. I remember, I mean, the concept of warm milk certainly is like from like the 40s or earlier, probably.
Hmm.
But I remember it being like a trope in 80s movies, like go to bed
Yeah.
with warm milk.
Well, it does when you heat milk, it releases I don't know if it's tryptophan, which is the same thing that you might find in turkey or
Turkey.
some cheese and things like that, but I do know that it creates some sort of um it does have some sort of similar effect on the
I would like
brain.
to talk to you about
Yeah.
warm milk, specifically for bedtime. Yes, you're right. Tryptophan converted to sleep regulating hormones like melatonin and serotonin. Look at you.
Yes, science.
All right.
Dr. Fried here.
Oh, we should say Johnny's dead.
John, oh yeah, he died.
Yeah.
He died.
It's such a
He
shame.
died. Yeah.
Within the first 12 minutes, Buster went banging on the door. They busted it open. Uh, Mickey, the son, went looking for his sister and found her in flagrante delicto, or at least immediately following in flagranta, with Vic LaRosa, that bastard tennis player. We get a nice shirtless moment with the very 80s coiffed
Oh
Joseph
yeah.
Cali. I mean, he's not unappealing, but he's not
No.
terribly appealing. He's very much of the time.
He's ex I was thinking the same thing. Like he looks like a good-looking 80s gentleman, and
I'm
that's
trying to
where
see
he
if
will stay
there's
forever.
I'm looking for other photos of him to see, and he actually looked pretty good in the 70s too. He's in Saturday Night Fever.
Mm.
But this, I don't know. It's this sort of like 80s douchebag, like he'd work for like a company
Oh,
that
he's
turned
fully
out to
like
be like
he
that's his
fully looks like
coding.
one of the bullies in Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles or
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah.
Like it's very
That
that
sort of
vibe.
James Spader kind of
Yeah, very that.
douchiness.
Hmm.
Um, he's not
Terry
the
just
yeah.
Terry just showed up at his locker room to say, "Get out of town. You might be questioned for murder."
Mid.
Um, and then she totally can we back it up to what she says to him when she
Oh,
leaves?
sure.
It's so vicious, and I just love her for it.
Oh, wait, she's gonna pay him off, right? Here we
Yeah,
go.
she's essentially paying him to get out of town.
Father is dead. I don't have to play let's pretend anymore. Truth is, I don't even like you.
I know what you like.
You don't know anything.
Damn.
The truth is, I don't even like
Cold-blooded.
you. Oh my God, she just came out and said it.
Yeah,
Have to respect her
she
for it.
was just screwing him for
Yeah.
to get back at Daddy. Uh yeah. Oh, we also have this great moment. Peggy, I mean, we just passed it, but backing up just a little bit, Peggy has this great howl moment with her scarf
Hmm.
while driving. It's
Hmm.
so mwah. It's so good.
It's very drama.
It's very grieving widow.
Uh-huh.
But officer, I just arrived. I had no idea.
And they're not even married anymore.
No,
I
she's
don't know what I am, Jessica.
I mean, this is real. This is actually like that's fun and complicated.
Oh yeah.
Like
I like that
because
they're
we
not
have a
married.
lot of episodes where the husband and wives are the immediate suspects, or
Hmm.
the ex because they're estranged or they hate each other. But this is like this weird, tenuous thing. It's delicious. It's so
They're really quite good to each other while he's still alive. Um, but there's clearly
she
some
brings out the
problems.
good side
I
of him.
like
Yeah.
I like that we get like a real relationship too. Uh, and it sort of makes you question her more because if she were just sort of his like happy wife who then is
Was
widowed, it's a little
jilted.
yeah, it's a little less interesting and it sort of undermines her potential as a suspect too,
Right.
which
And we'll have
as
many
we
episodes
know,
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. We love when everybody's a suspect. Um, so the sergeant, detective, colonel, constable, magistrate, what is his
Of the
title
United States.
of the United States?
He's the sergeant. He's the sergeant.
He's gonna partner with Jess because, she knows her
That's what
shit.
you do. That's what
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
It's her
And
show, man.
they have good chemistry in this.
They do. So I know that Rose Island is very confused about Bruce Willis's hair, but I think we also have
Mhm.
to question Ken Howard's hair. Uh, this is not a piece, as I understand it, but we see him in Golden Girls and also in this show, actually. We will see him because Ken Howard returns,
Hmm.
missing the crown of his hair. This looks like a forward comb over. I can't tell if it's actually him because you
What
can
do you mean?
see his scalp under his hair
Yeah.
right
Oh,
here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So is this before it fully thinned out and he just like let it go?
I mean, it's a good question. He definitely has some thin hair here, but because the color of his hair and the color of his skin are essentially the same, I think very much like Rose Nyland or Betty White, you kind of get away with it. If he had pale, pale skin and black as black hair, we would see that he was balding. But
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if
think
it's
he
if it's a
eventually does
hairpiece
get a full
involved here.
piece. I think he does eventually.
Yeah, I love a
Yeah.
full piece.
Oh dear.
He looks really handsome in this episode,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, he's always very handsome. I thought he was
Very
very
handsome
handsome
guy.
in 1776.
Oh
I
yeah.
get entirely where he plays the violin. He tucks it
Hmm.
right under his chin.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, we should say they're in they're at the murder scene and they're sort of going over all the clues in the room together, and
right.
their rapport is very it's quick, right?
Yeah, it's snappy. It's
They're
nice
good.
and
It's
snappy.
almost like Aaron Sorkin dialogue or something here. Um, but we see the pool table, we see his little TV viewing station, we see the piano.
It's
We're sort of
Johnny's
setting the
office.
scene. Yeah.
And a
And
lot of pictures on the wall. One is now missing,
mhm.
which the detective says, "Oh, that's not anything that
This
his
is a picture of
daughter
Johnny
must
with
have
his kids.
taken." Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't know if the daughter took it. We just know that that picture is gone and it's not
Yeah.
weird that it's
And
gone.
he said, "Oh, don't worry. It's just a picture of Johnny with his kids." Um, so they have determined that
And
Johnny was murdered by
and
someone
how
in the
there
house.
that you can't actually silence a gun with a silencer. It's actually a muffler,
Yeah.
as he points out. All of these just little tiny bits just
Come on,
to hold on to.
education. Yeah. It's a quick scene to keep track of all the things they talk about, which is great. Um,
I mean, that's what
they
you
also
need,
talk
right?
about, did she notice the missing videotape also?
Not
Not yet,
yet.
right? Not yet.
That's
Got
eventual.
it.
Yeah, because Johnny has this huge collection of videotapes, presumably of like his film of his like his televised career.
Hmm. Okay, Terry just got back home. Can we talk about Terry's necklace?
I was gonna say this dragon necklace with this
What
flame kind of thing.
is it? She looks like a
It's
little girl playing dress up in mom's clothes in this necklace. It is so big
it
on her.
matches the earrings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's of the time too, but it looks really cheap. Like
Yeah.
it looks like plastic.
Cheap, cheap, cheap. They look like shower curtain rings. This is what John Candy is selling in planes, trains, and automobiles. Yeah.
Uh,
Which is odd because she looks so chic otherwise.
Mickey has the opportunity to sell his sister out to the
Hmm.
mom, saying she had a boy over, but he chooses not to.
Oh, what a good guy.
Yeah,
What a
although
mensch.
it's distinctly possible that Vic is a viable suspect. Like we
Yeah.
know he was sleeping with Terry, but we don't know
Hmm.
if he possibly killed Johnny before then. We don't know what Johnny was doing
No.
before his death and before uh Buster came in with the milk.
Yeah, and apparently everybody stopped by that night at some point.
Well, all of
Um,
the characters are already introduced. Again,
yeah.
we didn't even get a third in, and everybody who's important.
Yeah, we have our suspect list, which is the two kids, Buster, the bodyguard, uh, the
The
ex-wife.
chauffeur slash the muscle,
Yes.
um,
I think that's it, right?
and oh, and the tennis guy. Yeah.
And the tennis guy.
So
Yeah, because they
tennis
were
guy. I
all
mean,
on property. There was no servants. The security guard would need to have like the name to let somebody in the property because we're on this huge like complex.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's
Uh,
a you're separated from society. You want that ability to control who gets to visit.
oh yeah.
So since they have a guard, he would have had to let somebody in, or they would have been seen on security cameras,
Yeah.
or would they?
Mm. Oh, meanwhile,
It's
the brawn muscle is going after the son because he thinks he killed Johnny. This scene is nuts.
it
This guy
is
just loses his mind and starts strangling this kid, and
this
the
kid
detective pushes him into
who's
the
probably 20.
he's so young and so much smaller than this guy. I love that Jessica is the one fixing the problem here.
I d- and this is good
Wait,
advice,
wait.
people. If you were choked and you're trying to regain your oxygen, do it slowly. Don't take gulps of air. You'll hurt yourself.
Yeah, she
So
knew.
just so you know.
She
So
knew.
for all of you folks at home who might put yourself in a position of choking and needing to get air quickly.
Where did she get her EMT training? I would like to
Oh,
know.
she does a lot of research.
She just knows everything. She comes in, she's like, "Stop it. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out." Everybody else is looking around like an idiot.
Yeah. This officer in theory has training.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so Mickey evidently had gone to the den, the office where
hmm
Johnny was later found dead. But he says he was still alive when he left, that they had made some changes to the arrangements, and he didn't even have a chance for his father to see the arrangements that he was being so mean about in the very first scene. So he went up,
Yeah,
so he left.
they were cute little ditties.
He's got a nice bounce.
Circa Buster.
And
Uh,
Buster says, "Oh well, it probably wasn't Mickey or John, yeah, Mickey, because
yeah.
Mickey was basically a pacifist. Like he wouldn't have done
Yeah.
that.
He's a little sweetie. Look at him.
So
Is
innocent."
Mickey a little gay coded?
That's an
I
interesting. I mean, there
it maybe a
certainly is a
hopeful.
masculinity argument
Yeah.
that his father's basically definitely like refers to him as a wuss.
Yeah.
Basically, is saying he's wimpy.
Yeah.
Interesting. I hadn't really considered that.
He has kind of a sweet, gentle quality to him, and he's a
Yeah.
musician. And I also might just be reading into it because
No, I like
gay,
it. I like it. If we
but
can make anything gayer, I think
yeah.
we should lean in.
I'm gonna
Um,
just go with it that Mickey is a little gay boy here.
he has, yeah, they don't even mention any like, why doesn't he like girls? Why doesn't he
Yeah.
have a girl? Like, there's none of that. And that's how we code things,
hmm
folks. Like, so we find out that Vic LaRosa got in without the security cameras getting him
hmm
because Terry's a hussy and has
Yeah.
frequently gotten men in by changing the cameras and the guard not seeing them. So,
You know what?
but the implication,
I
well,
like Terry.
Terry has ingenuity.
I appreciate her.
We don't love her necklace, but
No.
we appreciate her strength of conviction
If not for any reason, if she
in this little
falls on that
debutante
necklace,
dress.
she's gonna impale her neck. That poor thing. Did we mention it's like spiky and red? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it looks like little flames
Yeah.
on the side of her neck, breathing, breathing, heaving breaths. It does not go at all with the dress either. Like it's so. Oh, she even has like a little plastic cuff on her
Uh-huh.
forearm. I
Uh-huh.
didn't even catch that the first time.
This is a yeah, this is a Chanel moment. Take one item off, girl. It's just
Why
not
is it up
it's too
there?
much
Why
for
would you,
me.
who are you, Xena Warrior Princess? Why do you have that up by your elbow?
It's also very like matchy matchy, right?
And it doesn't match the dress. It doesn't go
No.
with it.
Oh, it matches the other jewelry,
Oh, it matches the
but
shoes. It does
that
go with the
color is not
shoes.
in the dress.
No.
Nor is it like a cool complement to the dress. It's just like
No.
slightly off. We're talking a lot about this dress and this
I mean, we
this
are
jewelry,
because nothing's
but
really going on. They're just sort
no.
of covering the same material over and over
Hmm.
again. They're saying, well, it couldn't have been him. He was in his room. Couldn't be
Yeah,
her. She was sleeping with the
yeah,
tennis guy.
yeah. Everybody's supplying their alibis. Everybody's saying that it couldn't possibly be. A few
Them.
suggestions.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh. Who else was here that night?
Must have been one
They're
of his
just going around in
ladies.
circles. Yeah. I want to talk about Terry's dress again.
And well, it turns out that Johnny and Peggy were still knocking it because
Mhm.
she was there last night
Look
because
at her,
she
wouldn't
was
you?
reconnecting. She's so pretty,
She's
so
great.
soft. This little off the
Uh-huh.
shoulder moment here.
Uh-huh.
This great umber orange. So
Her
nice.
wardrobe is impeccable. She looks like money, and these gold disc earrings, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
This
is,
this
I
is
didn't
good.
realize it until we're watching it while we're talking about it, but there is a lot of just sort of like filler content in this episode.
Well, because he's also like Johnny dies quick.
He
So he
does,
dies
yeah.
really, really quick. And I
You
mean,
know,
spoiler alert, all of the time that is spent on alibying everybody else is completely unnecessary because none of them did it.
yeah.
Like it's they spend a lot of time clearing people,
But isn't
and
that the
that's fine.
joy? I think that's the
Oh,
best part
sure.
about this episode is that we actually do get all this time to investigate all the suspects,
Right.
and then at
And
the
learn
end, when
about
it
them.
turns out that we were all had, we were all fooled, it's so satisfying. It's so
Yeah.
satisfying. It reminds me of the episode with Harry McGraw and the three cases,
Hmm.
and we spent all that time digging into them, and
Oh, sure.
in the end, it didn't have anything to do with any of them, really. They were just a means to an end. This is
Yeah,
a little
world
sloppier,
building.
I think.
It's
Yeah, but
nice, nice world building.
yeah,
Well, and it's I guess because the stakes aren't very high
yeah,
otherwise. Like because he's dead, who cares? And there's
yeah.
one officer who's investigating and not investigating very well. But no one else is at risk. It's not like anyone else thinks that someone's going to get killed.
Right?
I don't even think there's the inheritance. I don't even think is discussed. Like they're not even worried about who's going to get his money.
You know that
There's
if one of the
no,
family members had been the murderer, we would have heard something about money. Because it's always about money on this show,
yeah,
right? It's almost always about money.
simple greed, as Jessica
Simple
often
greed,
says.
baby. She's not wrong,
So
but
we
not
get into
here.
the discussion. We get in discussion of the mob again because the
Hmm.
unseen mob, that sounds important. And that seems possible if none of
Yeah.
them did it. So how
The
did the
thing
mob get Johnny?
the thing about the mob connection here is like we never really we get a little bit of a backstory about why they're involved and how they're connected, but it doesn't really saturate the rest of the story, right? It's just sort of a convenient uh a convenient piece of exposition, right? That he has this connection to the mob, right? We don't ever see
Hmm.
a mobster, we don't ever see anybody. Um so I almost forget that that's kind of the connection that leads to his death in the end.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Well, he keeps coming up every 10 minutes or so in
hmm
conversation.
hmm
And then there's a phone call that sounds important that makes
yeah.
Terry wonder if that was the motivation.
Well, I kept
And that
thinking
gets
we
some
were going to get to
discussion.
meet him. I kept thinking Milo Valentine was going to show up and exonerate himself somehow, and of course he doesn't. But
Well, because technically Milo is still involved. to
Right.
some degree.
He is, but I guess I was surprised that we never he's an off-camera character. We never meet
Yeah.
him, we never know about him, we never know what his motivations are directly. We just know that he calls a hit.
Well, there are two locations in this entire episode: the
Yeah.
compound and the club. That's
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
So Valentine would have to have gone to one of them, and there's no real reason to implicate himself.
Yeah.
If this had been a storyline where the officer was more inclined to incriminate the mob,
Hmm.
which is curious as to why he's not,
Yeah.
um, then we may have had scenes where Jessica and he go to meet the guy
Yeah.
in theory, who I sort of imagine is like that Norman Fell kind of character,
Oh, fair. Yeah.
um, that we see like in the racetrack episode.
Yeah.
Um,
Look at this outfit Jessica's got on, by the way.
oh,
This yellow with
she's
the big floppy tie. It's so cool.
this is her
Very
resort wear. Look at her
ladies wear
open
falls
toe
into menswear.
shoe, and
Love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's very
nice.
resort. Yeah. Um, Jessica just walked in on Terry in her dad's office. She's watching videos of him, his little
Mm,
setup. Oh, and this is where we find out that he used to take videos of himself playing pool so he could correct his game.
hmm.
So he has these cameras that are angled at the pool table.
Yeah, they're like up in the rafters of
Yeah,
his big open office space with like
right.
um this conversation with Terry and Jessica is also shortly after Terry overheard on the phone Buster commenting about Valentine's
Hmm.
involvement and her thinking, oh, this may have been a hit.
Oh, Buster was the one. Buster was the one. After all these years.
Oh,
Oh,
and
but
now we
no.
have this. We should say the bangle, the shoes, the earrings,
Oh
the
my
necklace,
God.
and now we
And the
have
sweater.
the sweater. She loves this deep red orange,
She
blood orange
is,
moment.
she got all this on sale one day. There was a red bin,
It's,
and she was like, gimme, gimme.
but why would that dress?
Oh, God, I hate the necklace. Everything else is okay with me, but the necklace is just terrible. What
It
actually
needs like
are they? Are they little like flames? Are they little cherubs? Are they little
leaves, maybe leaves,
ah,
flame, petals.
uh,
Yeah, it's it's
not a
vaguely
clue.
like it's what white people would call Oriental. It's like that kind of
Yes.
Pan-Asian, non-specific.
Oh, cringe. It's true.
Yeah.
True.
Um,
Yeah.
because they kind of look like flames, they kind of look like petals, they kind of look like
Hmm.
just jagged, uncomfortable plastic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, Terry
Uh
also revealed that she took the photograph off the wall.
yeah.
When they walked in and they found their father's dead body, she grabbed that photograph and took it up to her room and
Just
snuggled
a
it and said,
whole
"Oh, Daddy, Daddy, I miss you and I love you." Um, yeah.
she regrets playing all those head games, I guess now.
Hmm.
Uh we still haven't heard where Vic is, right? He still not hasn't returned.
No, where did we get his little action sequence?
Did we already
Did we
get
miss it?
him?
Did we pass it? Did they arrest him?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think so. There he
No,
is.
he's
It's
right. He's
coming up
coming up.
soon.
He's
Yeah.
coming up. Because
Um,
she paid off Vic to get out of town. I think for two reasons. One, she doesn't need him anymore, and I think to implicate him, frankly.
Do you
Um,
think she was trying to implicate him, or do you think she doesn't know that she knows he didn't kill her,
I mean,
kill her dad? He was, stooping her all night.
well, I meant for the writers to implicate, not
I
her
see.
specifically. She
Oh,
didn't
okay,
necessarily
okay.
need to. It's she sends him away so that he can be. Uh, I guess he's the only one. Well, no. Again, we know that they were having sex, so I guess
Yeah,
in theory we know his alibi. But
that's fair.
So this is him. His
Yeah.
truck has broken down and he can't get to Mexico after all.
Wah, 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 wah. We also it's important to say that in the last scene they noticed that the tape was missing because Johnny used to take video of his pool games and he used to look at the tapes, but they noticed finally that one of the tapes in that row were missing. So important piece of evidence.
I mean, only if you want to
Uh,
solve things,
only, you know,
if you feel like
murder,
it.
please.
Uh,
I like this little action sequence where the police come and
See, there
fly
are other
forward
police,
to.
and I like you're just standing there with the gun pointing down. Like,
I
is
know.
this how where I point? Is this where I point?
Literally right at the back of this guy's head. FTP.
And he immediately says, "Oh, it must have been Terry."
Uh-huh.
Police station,
Throws the blame right back.
investigating Detective Sergeant Barnes. Yeah, and Perro. So evidently, Barnes and Perro share this office. Do we ever
Hmm.
even see Perro, or is this Perro
I
here?
don't think so.
No.
Ooh, Terry's in a new look. Oh, okay.
Okay, so this works for you. This is better than
This is
the
better.
necklace situation.
This is better. You know what? I thought she was just gonna hurt herself.
Now she's in the eggplant and lilac
I was
that her mother
thinking
was wearing earlier.
they're all just trading costumes at this point. They had a budget and they had to be creative. So now the cops are interviewing La Rosa, Vic La Rosa, the hot-headed
I
tennis player.
I don't know if I like the weird little sash thing that's stitched to the dress though that Terry's wearing. I don't know. It's very like
Well,
RuPaul's Drag
and
Race Design Challenge. I don't
it is a
like
little
it.
bit, yeah. Oh, but RuPaul loves an asymmetrical.
Yeah, if it was like ostrich feather maybe. And Jessica's too matchy matchy. She's got like
Oh
sailor
no,
stripes and this weird floral, very loosely tied scarf that's
this is
just
fully bad.
not prepossessing.
She looks like she's wearing a sheet.
I don't like it. It's
It's not
just
good.
no.
Blah, blah. Um, Piper Laurie looks great.
Well,
Um,
naturally. She's in nudes right now. This beige ensemble and
mhm.
chunky jewelry.
So we're all in this police station. We're doing what we've done the whole episode, right?
Talk about fashion.
I know. They're just going around in circles again, talking about who has an alibi, who doesn't, who was here, who was there. It's a lot. There's like 40 minutes in this episode where we're just talking about, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Yeah. And
I
here's
didn't
why
do
I
it.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now she knows, right? Jessica knows.
I think she's on the cusp.
She's
She
she's
just
just
can't
about
quite
there.
put it together.
Oh, this is the scene where she has her aha moment. She's with Buster, because, like we said, Terry mentioned that she picked up the phone and Buster was calling the mob. Um, but it just turns out Buster was nervous that he was next, right? That he was in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Buster's pretty innocent. Um, I like this guy. I like Buster. He's fun. I don't know that he has enough to do in this episode,
Yeah.
but it's
Not
okay.
a whole lot.
He sort of shows up as this sort of like fun, light
Easygoing.
presence,
Yeah.
easygoing. Yeah,
He has
maybe he's
that
the funny
moment
one.
earlier when he's like, hustle the buns, hustle the buns.
Yeah, yeah. I think he could have been a real great if this episode had been written differently. He could have been a great sort of collaborator with Jessica, right?
hmm
They could have had some
hmm
fun
Yeah, if we didn't
if they
have
weren't the
an
sergeant.
actual detective, if we didn't
Yeah,
have a real police presence, and it was
yeah,
amateurs, because he has motivation to
yeah,
solve,
yeah. He's his buddy. He's his pal.
and he doesn't
They're
really
gonna
have an
figure it
identity
out.
without him. Like this
No.
is a thing too, is if you spend your whole life being the second banana to like this larger than life guy, and this guy
Hmm.
dies, suddenly he doesn't know who he is, and he gets a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Um, I guess he just gets to live there. Like,
He doesn't
who owns
seem
this property now?
it's a they don't talk about wills, they don't talk about who gets these
Mm-mm.
things, not once. Um, which is kind of refreshing, which I think one of the
Yeah,
reasons I like this episode is we don't get into that sort of sort of drudgery of wills and
Right. Because we he left it to a
beneficiaries
dog.
and yeah,
So
yeah.
naturally.
Oh, poor Trish.
Uh
She just wasn't ahead of the game.
no.
Uh,
Oh, dun 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 dun.
um,
This is a long sequence.
I know. Again,
Yeah.
a lot of character work in this episode, which is cool.
So he says that he hears that billiard balls were clacking
Hmm. Hmm.
shortly before he went to get the milk,
Yeah.
which indicates that Johnny was practicing. Uh, and Jessica says, you have to kill Johnny and you have to remove the tape because something was said during that game
Hmm.
that was actionable.
Because
So,
Milo Valentine showed out. He came to Johnny's house, right? And that's the tape that they're trying to locate.
yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. This was
Yeah.
long ago or before the
Not even
episode
that
began.
long ago, but
Yeah.
I don't remember. I guess Johnny, I think actually, what's his name? Buster indicates that Johnny may have tipped his hand
Hmm.
to Valentine and sort of said, "This is why I'm not afraid of you." Because if you earlier, like in the first 5 minutes, they're in the car and he gets a call and he doesn't take the call from Valentine because he
Hmm.
doesn't care. He's not worried.
Oh, he's very flippant about it. Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
Buster's like, "What are you doing? This guy's a bad guy. He could really,"
Hmm.
and he's just not
He's
worried.
dangerous, sir.
So that's the problem is that
Yeah.
you cozy up and suddenly you're
Hmm.
you're up next.
Yeah. Okay, we've made it to the final scene. And Jessica has called the sergeant, the detective, the constable, the king to to the crime scene because she's figured it out. He was just about to get Vic LaRosa
Yes,
to,
because he likes Vic LaRosa as our killer.
yeah, he really does. Makes sense. Makes sense. Everybody else had a good alibi, sort of, sort of.
And
So
she
now
says,
Jessica's
well,
painting the scene.
yeah, probably came across Johnny in his den watching a tape,
Yeah.
but not the tape that he wanted. So he had to shoot him and then go through the tapes, which sounds exhausting. Like, if you look at how many he has in his
Right?
library, like, how do you know which one it was? Because none of them are really labeled.
How long was he in there? And Buster was going to get some milk while this was happening? A little unplausible,
Yeah, yeah, it is just a touch.
but
This needs just a little tightening to make it
yeah,
make a whole lot of sense.
totally. Um, so she's noticing that the tapes on the wall, all up to a certain point, are played a little bit because
Which means
somebody was
she went through
looking.
all of the
Yeah,
tapes.
she too sat there and was like, hmm. I wonder what she
But
saw in
this
those
is, folks,
tapes.
this is what you had to do. This is what we had when we were reel to
I
reel
guess.
or video cassette. Like,
Victor, what if
be
they
kind,
weren't all pool
rewind.
tapes? What if he was doing other things in those tapes?
I think at least some of them, we need to not address that. Uh,
They said that he invited lady friends to his little den often. Just
on the
saying.
pool table?
Sounds like a
Goodness.
porno.
I don't know.
Anyway.
But yeah,
Um,
so Barnes is still saying, no, it must have been Vic. It must have been Vic. And
mm-mm.
Jessica's like, no, because you slipped.
The killer gave us
Nobody else was
proof.
in the room, and you could actually absolutely plausibly deny it. But you
Totally.
told me
Totally.
that the picture on the wall was him and his kids, but you wouldn't have known that unless you had been here earlier
And
because
he's
Terry
brand
took
new.
that portrait. Yeah.
He's from Chicago. He's never been here before. Bitch, I'm from Chicago.
And again, all he has to do is say, Jessica, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What are you saying? And no one would be able to prove it otherwise.
Yeah. So she's calling him out. She said, "You're a police officer, but you came here specifically for this hit."
But Or are you not actually a police
I don't
officer?
know. That's a good question. I was going to ask you what you thought.
Because I'm
Do you
like,
think he's actually the
who's
law?
checking the resumes?
Well,
Explains why you left Chicago to take a job in a small desert town. Maybe he's just a dirty cop. Maybe that's it.
that's
With
what
the
I'm not
police
sure of.
force.
And of course, she's right.
Oh,
This,
absolutely.
and you win the grand prize, a trip to oblivion, pulls out a gun on her.
Say hello to Oblivion.
She's awfully
It's
chill for a potential ominous death in a moment. Oh, so that's a silencer. Always wondered.
and oh, how
Hmm.
nice. In her research, she's never seen a photo of one. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess oh, there it is. And Lou comes in hot-headed with a gun, and the gang's all here, the entire family.
I mean, theoretically, when this happened, and it is essentially the wingman holding the gun versus the sergeant holding the gun, that guy's a trained hitman. Couldn't he
Yeah.
theoretically have taken out all of those people right there? Like right then and there with that little gun?
I mean, he has a gun pointed at him though.
Yeah. But what if he
Yeah.
got, you know what I mean? Like this is what he does, and he's being sort of overpowered by essentially a chorus of unarmed people and stern looks on their faces. That's kind of what
But no,
happened.
Lou has a gun. He has a
Lou
gun
does have
right
a gun.
there.
But what if, okay, I'm just thinking too much about it. What if the hitman, our sergeant hitman
You're
said, I'm gonna take
wondering
out Lou.
why
I know.
our killer doesn't just massacre the rest of the household.
I
This is
mean,
what you're wondering?
I feel like in this moment when he's certainly going to jail, like as like a contract killer, that doesn't bode well for him, right? Like I would take any means necessary to get out of that room if I were him. Just throwing it out there.
Well,
Um,
evidently he thought better.
I guess
Uh,
he was a
and it's an
sophisticated gentleman.
we run out of time.
Yeah,
He doesn't even explain why, because Jessica already did it for us.
he's just
He just
it's a
says, "Well
job.
done, you did it."
Yeah, pretty simple actually when it comes down to
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
It was just the means of getting him into that room to commit the murder were were very special, right? They had to, everything had to be just right. He had to follow in, as we did not mention earlier in this episode, but what had happened was he had followed in the ex-wife when she came over, right? Or was it when Terry turned off the lights and the camera and Vic was coming over that he snuck in? At any rate, there were opportunities for him to get into this house.
Yeah. Yeah, he's. I mean, let me see. Do they even actually say when it must have been? Let me see.
Maybe we need to have her reenact it.
Dun, 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 dun. Mm, mm, mm. Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun,
mean,
dun,
this
dun,
is
dun, dun, dun,
pretty
dun, dun, dun,
exceptional
dun.
detective work on her part, by the way. Like
All right,
that she managed to figure this out.
here we go.
All ears.
Well, he knew that Vic LaRosa was seeing Terry, so he kept a very close
So okay,
eye
so he followed Vic.
He figured he'd get
Yes.
lucky sooner or later.
That's it.
And that night, he finally did. When Vic went to the service gate and Terry turned off the alarm for him, the killer followed him in.
There we go. Easy enough.
Ah, that makes sense.
Where to find the den.
It's such a quick, like,
And
by the way, that's just all we need.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that the dozens of times that I've seen this episode, I didn't really pay attention to how I got it, which is fair.
Yeah, true. I knew that again, almost doesn't matter.
No, and again, he doesn't refute her. She's
No.
just working off theory, but
Yeah.
it's probably what it is because he doesn't refute her.
And she's always
But
right.
it almost doesn't matter because it's not going to come up in court.
Yeah.
So he's guilty. He's going to probably plead guilty.
In this case, it
Uh,
seems pretty likely.
he's
Yeah.
got almost no evidence against him, but yeah,
Yeah.
he
This
just
is
has a bunch of people bumping into the room while he's about to shoot Jessica.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So there's like clearly there's some attempted assault there. So we have him on a couple charges already. So we're in good
But
shape.
what if he sells out Valentine and makes a plea?
That would
He
be
might.
exceptional. Yeah,
He
although that
might.
makes him a marked man for the rest of his life.
I mean, he's kind of a marked man anyway.
I mean, I
I
guess,
have a
yeah.
feeling that him being caught and tying him to Valentine, he wouldn't survive.
You know,
So he's probably going to go into witness protection.
these murder mystery shows, they often flirt with this idea of contract killers, like quite a lot. Um, and I wonder
Mm.
what the prevalence is of this type of murder in real life versus in these TV shows, because they love this device, right? They love this kind of character, this kind of archetype.
Mhm.
Um, but in some ways, and you tell me what you think, but in some ways, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a low-hanging fruit for me. It's like, oh, we can just a contract killer. Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's a bit of a throwaway.
It's because the audience at home isn't going to know accuracy.
Yeah,
It's not important because it's like a monster. It's like,
yeah.
okay, well, that's just the boogeyman.
Hmm.
So it doesn't really require a whole lot of explanation. It's just, oh, that's just
Right,
the mob. Oh, that's just a contract killer.
right.
There's an episode that I really, really like actually with a contract killer, where the contract killer is not important, but the family surrounding it,
Hmm.
I think is, and who was killed. But yeah, it's sort of like these little, I forgot what that's called, like waving away sort of shorthand to say, oh no, he's a spy. Oh no,
Hmm.
that's just how Congress works. Oh no, that's just,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
lawyers being lawyers. We don't have time to go into the lore.
World building be damned. Just take our word for it.
Well, because
Yeah.
also a lot of that's probably got to be either really speculative for the writers, because I mean that means the writers also have to know. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know. Do you know that when, at least in some episodes of, I think it's Star Trek, when they needed something very sciency, a lot of the writers would like make a notation saying we need something sciency here to explain this,
Hmm.
and then a whole other department would go in and make it plausible by saying, "Oh,
Yes.
this is how that works."
Send in the
And
science consultants. Yeah.
I think that's probably also true of like a lot of medical dramas
Hmm.
or procedurals if the writers aren't like, because they're not really, the writers aren't there to create procedure.
Right.
They're here there to create the characters that have to deal with the procedure. So why spend
Hmm.
time in the script on that? So here they just don't even do it at all.
Yeah.
They
I
skip
don't
that
blame them
part
for
entirely.
it. Well, in all fairness, this was also aired and produced in a time when we weren't obsessively rewatching TV shows. We were we
Yes.
were
It's
picking them
pre-syndication.
apart for all of the little plot holes and pitfalls that we now know and love so much. But yeah, yeah, there you go.
That's what this is for.
That's what our job is.
And to be
That's
honest,
what
I
we
don't know if I
do.
always, I mean, I, as someone who deconstructs these episodes for fun on my own anyway,
Mhm.
I'm deconstructing them in a very different way with you than I ever did on my own or even with my husband.
Oh,
So
how so?
I'm looking at them scene by scene, talking to somebody about them.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
when I'm watching them with my husband and we're making references, something may catch us, and we're like, "Why did he do that?" We just sort
yeah,
of say, "Well,
yeah.
because it's a TV show."
Right.
With you, I'm actually spending time on it because it's in front of me and I'm making
Yeah,
content.
totally. I feel like I have turned into the plausibility police, which is kind of a fun role, and I'm also ready to hang up that hat eventually because I will, as the series goes on, we know that the plausibility becomes less and less.
And
So,
yet, more like effort is put to make it plausible, I feel. Like some of these episodes, they work
mhm.
really hard. Like, why is there a gun that's fashioned to go off from a closet when you open the door? I don't know. But here's how it did it. Here's how we
Yeah.
know it. This person must
Yeah.
have done it because of this, this, and this. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't need to be that complicated. They
Right.
could have just said, oh, somebody did that. No, they actually talk about why that character would have known to. Like, they do
Hmm.
spend time on that.
Hmm. It's
Uh,
interesting. The series kind of goes through, has so many tone shifts in its 12 years, right?
mhm.
Yeah. Even in the
Yeah, and I
first
think some
season,
of that is reflective of the era that some of the episodes are filmed in and what they're
definitely.
referencing or what they're commenting on.
Hmm.
So I don't know if
Truly.
this particular episode has any like commentary on anything per se,
Yeah.
but some of the episodes that are like about the fashion industry or about the news industry or about Congress for that matter, or like the salaciousness of the amusement park that in theory is for kids, but actually has really adult themes. Like
Yeah.
there's an agenda with those episodes. I don't know if there necessarily is an agenda with this episode.
No. No. I mean, this is the penultimate episode in the first season. It's really good. It's really fun. I one of my main takeaways for this, I think I might have more problems with it, except that I remember watching this episode for the first time. And I remember when
Mm,
the sergeant turns out to be the murderer, I
mm.
was fully gagged. Had no idea. He has such presence as an actor and such gravitas as like a person of authority. He
It's
really,
betrayal.
yeah. Truly, he comes in, he owns the scenes with her. They're so well matched and they're clearly number one and two on the call sheet, right? And so then when he is, you should have known, right, when he's the murderer, um but you just don't see it coming because he plays such a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I really like that about it. And I think, oh, the clue is right there in the very beginning. He gives it to us right away and we don't think about it. It's always a clue like that, though. They say something just a little too much, right?
Yeah.
But the subversion that it's
The
actually the constable or the why do I keep saying constable? I think
I
IMDb says it. The detective, at any rate, I just think that's just such delicious fun. Um, and it makes the rest of the episode sort of the lightness feel like it really pays off. Because it could have
yeah.
gone nowhere and it doesn't. It takes a nice, really, really swift left turn at the end and it delivers for me.
Well, we've talked about some of the episodes where it's kind of mean. And
Hmm.
even this bastard of a character who gets killed, he doesn't suffer. Like he's just shot. He's a bad guy who did bad
Yeah,
things, but it's the mob, so you can't really argue semantics with why they do what they do. Again, wave
right.
it away. The mob does bad things. Um, and it's everybody else is while they're upset, there's not a lot of time spent like needling them
Yeah,
in mean kind of ways. Sort of like you remember that episode where we talked about when the movie's being made and the producer is killed and all of the actors and characters and the director, they're all kind of bitchy to each
yeah,
other.
yeah.
Most of the once he dies, most of their tension goes away and they don't know they actually have to
Mhm.
deal with each other as people.
Yeah,
And I think that's a really interesting perspective, frankly,
I think
is
so
that
too.
he was the tension between them all.
You bring up a good point, and I think I had sort of mentioned it earlier. This is a really character-driven episode of TV,
Mm.
because I think more than a lot of episodes, while we're watching it here, we have a lot of room to talk about Terry's dress because so much of what's happening is actually just character development between these people.
Right.
There aren't a lot of
And an
plot points
audience
that
at
we
home,
have to
you can
catch.
listen to that from them. We don't have to
Yeah,
repeat everything that they're saying.
yeah, yeah. Use your own ears.
Well, because they also these are good actors, as you pointed out to
Yeah,
begin with too. Like it's interesting
really
hearing
strong.
them talk
Yeah.
and getting into and going back and forth. And while we very frequently have these characters that are somehow related because of a central figure,
Hmm.
all of these people are actually related to the central figure that is killed.
Hmm.
It's not
Yeah.
just that they know each other through business or they most of their relationship is pretty cut and dry because they're children of,
Yeah.
or were married to, or
Yeah.
they work for.
Totally.
We don't have to spend a lot of time wondering their motivations also.
It's it's great. They feel like they feel lived in. They feel like real family members
Mm-hmm.
right off the bat. So we love that.
Yeah, they are
And
good with each other.
yeah.
They're very believable with each other. Like the banter with the
hmm
siblings,
hmm
very believable.
Yeah. This isn't one of those sort of idealized families that we get in this series sometimes. Gee, Mom, I'm so happy to be home.
Or
Oh,
like
Johnny.
draconian evil
Yeah,
flowers in the
yeah.
attic kind of cartoon
Yeah,
families
like
either.
mustache twirling, nothing like that. No,
Right.
these are real people, real rich
Which is
people.
ironic
But
considering that's Carrie's mom, who
oh,
was one of the biggest cartoons of Gothic horror.
of the genre, yeah,
Yeah.
truly. And she's
It's just
so
her and Louise Fletcher from Cuckoo's Nest. Like that's it.
yes.
Uh
So, yeah, I think the actors are just really strong here. Even someone like who plays Vic LaRosa, I can't remember the actor's name,
Joseph
who
Cali
who doesn't have the most to do except for say like I'm walking here. You know what I mean? That's kind
and
of his
Sneer.
character.
Yes. He is very like Dustin
But
Hoffman, Al
yes,
Pacino.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. With
But even that is like it
none of the
does the trick
spark.
because we don't for a second think he's capable of that murder. So it's a nice little seasoning in this episode. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's good stuff. I like it. I like this
it's
episode.
good stuff.
It's a good middle ground episode because it's right
hmm
before the end of the series, so it's very lived in. Jessica, we don't need her to explain her anymore. We know exactly
Yeah,
what she's up to.
yeah,
Uh, and we're already at a point where her reputation is existing, so we don't even have to
right.
explain to them why she's getting involved,
Yeah. At
which
this
we've had
point,
to
her
do before.
reputation is leaps and bounds better than those of the police officers she's working with.
And again, this one makes sense because the police officer turns out to be the crumb, so he wants to keep her in check as well. He
Totally.
gets her involved because he wants to know what she knows, and this is not it's not the first time where
hmm
that's happened. There's
Yeah,
at
it happens
least
again for sure. Um, the one thing
trying to
I'm wondering,
remember.
like when he says to her, like, I think I figured it out, and then begins to uh build the crime story from the beginning with him in the room. I One thing that I do wish we could see is him sort of I would love to know what he's thinking in those moments. Like she's spot on. She's got it. She's she's going to get to me as the killer here eventually.
Yeah.
But he doesn't let us know. He doesn't let that on. But I just
And
love
if he
like
was a little
2
smarter, he
seconds.
probably would
Yeah.
have tried to kill her.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, he's not giving her enough credit. I know he doesn't
No.
want to tip his hand to us because we're watching, but he probably should have tried to kill her
Much
much earlier.
faster. Much
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she
Or lead
knows.
her off in a completely different direction.
Yeah. Throw another clue out there or something.
Yeah. He's just not, he's just, you can tell. I mean, well, maybe you can't tell, but I would say this is a specific type of assassin. This is
Yeah.
not someone who cleans up or does things. This is someone who
No.
just goes in and gets it. Which you'd think if he had this much experience as a cop, he'd have much better history of faking evidence.
Mm, you think? I wonder what that resume looks like. Someone did not vet their new hire.
No,
Someone
someone's
did
getting
not check
fired.
out the LinkedIn. Someone did not run that background check. Someone's getting fired.
Uh, so
Poor
yeah, I
HR.
like this. I like this one, and it's easy going. It's not too much of a thinker, and it's
Yeah.
not it doesn't talk down to the audience either. So
No.
I like that. I like
I
that.
watch this one all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah,
One of my
it's an easy going one.
more rewatched episodes for sure.
Well, so that was
Ta-da!
Murder at the Oasis. Happy, happy. Um,
Finally a title that
folks,
makes
for
sense.
we are at our last episode next week
That's
of the
right.
first season, which
Uh-huh.
is Funeral at 50 Mile, which is a nice, dusty, uh, sort of Southwest mystery with a
Mm.
lot of characters to keep up with. Another
Start the
one.
dirge. I'm ready.
There's another one with a whole lot of characters to keep up with.
Too
Some of
many. I
whom you'll
think.
know, some of whom you'll see in very recognizable visages.
What?
I know. It's very nice. It's very nice.
I'm doing a peek
Uh,
ahead just to see. I know who's in it, but I want to see
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, of course.
Of
Oh my
course.
goodness. Oh my
Several
goodness.
returning, who will eventually return
It is a
characters.
big cast.
Yeah.
Too
Or not
many.
characters, but actors. Yeah. And it's another very Agatha Christie-ish.
Hmm.
It's not exactly like an island mystery or a mansion mystery,
Hmm.
but it has the pieces of one. It has the pieces of one. So, all
We're
right.
gonna find
And then, of
out.
course, we'll have our wrap-up episode where we'll talk about some of our favorite pieces along the way and the friends that we made. Interesting that one
I'll
of the things
be
that
there for you. Go on.
one of my favorite elements is like the one scene wonders that we've had. There is no one scene wonder in this episode. Everybody is important.
Oh, there isn't. You're
Um,
right.
yeah, and probably the actress who we would assume would take that role would be Piper Laurie, but she's got a
You'd think.
meaty role.
No, she's in it a lot. I think Buster might be another. No, but he's in a lot. He's no.
He's in a lot of it too. No, there's no. I mean, if they had done it a different way, she's the kind of actress that they would have
Yeah.
hired for that kind of thing. Because I definitely see her as like
Oh,
that
the
lady
scene
with the cat.
stealing headliner. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The Milton Berle moment. And I believe, oh no, there is a one scene wonder next episode. There is. There is.
I
Uh
eat it up.
all with a spoon. Absolutely.
Can't
So looking forward to it.
wait.
And then we get into season 2. So folks, thank you for joining us on this journey. Well,
We've nearly made it on the first lap.
I know, where we kind of act like we've never seen these episodes before because
Uh,
we forget all of the very important. If it helps, folks, we don't edit our mistakes really. I don't think, right?
oh
Patrick,
no,
you're in charge of
no, I
that. You
don't
just sort
edit.
of keep it
The
all in.
only the only thing I cut out is if we have a technical glitch and we have dead
Mm,
time. But otherwise,
which you'd
nope.
never know, would you?
If we never, if we're making fools of ourselves, you hear it, you lucky
I think
people.
it's I think you lucky people. All right, folks, that was Murder at the Oasis. Good times. I think that concludes. Any
I think
other?
so.
All right,
No
cool.
other thoughts from me. I think I'm ready to wrap up season one next week.
Yeah. Actually, we've dipped back. This is a little bit of a longer one because we had a lot to say once everything was said
Yeah.
and done. So splendid.
Once we got past Terry's necklace. Yeah.
I mean, it just took up so much time. She wears this outfit for a very long time.
Like more than half the episode. Yeah.
And I don't know if Polo had like a sponsorship, but all of these men are in polo shirts.
They sure
And
are.
like they're just in different colors. And I
Hmm.
appreciate that because that's one of the rules in television is that you don't put people in the same colors. You see it on Golden Girls all the time. No one's
Oh
ever
yeah.
both wearing blue. No one's ever both wearing green.
Hmm.
Uh, but
Tis
she's just in
masterful.
this.
Yeah.
All right. All right,
Oh,
folks.
okay. Until
That was
next
it. That's it.
time. Yes.
I'm Victor Devon,
I'm petrified.
and this
And this
was
was
tonight
tonight on
on
Murder,
Murder,
She
She
Wrote. Yeah. That was dramatic.
Wrote.
Bang. Plunk. Those are murder weapons. Yeah. Don't listen to
Don't
me anymore.
don't trust the cops.
Yeah. FTP. Okay, bye.